What is up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for another Overwatch Odyssey League matchup. Tonight, we have got quite the matchup for you all. We have got Kaiju Corp MX going up against Lootboxers, and I am very excited for this matchup, and I am just itching to get things started. But, of course, gotta let you know, here with me on the mic, we have got Yvonne. Yvonne, what's happening?
Freaking go! This is what we've all been waiting for. We got top seed. We got Lootboxers. We got Kaiju Corp. This is your two top seed contenders. I can't wait.
This is definitely a matchup to be here for, and if you aren't here, those of you in the Discord, you better get here quick because there is a lot of action that's going to unfold here shortly, and I am ready for it. Both teams are ready, so without further ado, we are kicking things off. We are starting with a hybrid game mode at Numbani, so let's go ahead and get things started here. So I got to ask you, Vaughn, what are some things you're looking forward to in tonight's match? We've got two stellar teams going head-to-head. What are some things that you're expecting from the teams here?
This is probably not what you wanted to hear, but absolute mayhem. I honestly, I cannot wait. I know that wasn't what you were looking for, but I can't wait to see how this is gonna go down tonight. We got two of the best teams in the entire league going on right now, and they're gonna give it their all tonight. And I can't wait to see what happens. I feel like Kaiju Corp is still undefeated at this time, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, and we have, back when I was still playing for the PA Blinks, we had Lootboxers, who was J Dynasty at the time, and they were undefeated. So I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out this evening.
For sure. And starting things off, so we have got Huka returning for Tank, starting off on Diva, Saturn playing Echo, Sandbox God playing Ash, Hollow playing a Mercy, and Weemy High playing Ana. Oso playing the Magoo, Damavendra on the Reaper now, Squid playing Symmetra, Onsala playing Moira, and Arrow on that Lucio. Let's go ahead and get things into it. We're getting that countdown, 2 and 1. Let's get right down to business here.
I'm loving every second of this. I can't wait to see how this happens. I love seeing Kaiju taking up high ground, making sure that they got, you know, all bases accounted for. Though I have to admit, Lootboxers has a Sim and a Moira, so we definitely have some diva counters here. I don't even think that was intentional because they couldn't have known, but I'm loving this so much.
Unknowingly being prepared for your opponent is always a nice benefit to have. Squid looking very low there on that high ground. Saturn hoping to finish Squid off here. They are going to go ahead and TP. Looks like they're maybe hoping to go and wrap around on the high ground there. But looks like two of them fighting on point now.
Oh, we got Diva out of mech. Goodness gravy sakes alive. Alright, Lootboxers are not going to waste any time trying to capture this objective that becomes the payload.
And Onsala getting really low. Lots of picks going in favor of Kaiju Corp, and they are going to be able to hold off for the moment. We are requesting a pause already. Not a good sign this early in the stream. Wondering what's happening. Looks like Arrow is losing some frames here. Hoping to quickly figure this out. May unfortunately require Arrow to restart, which is not something you want to see with only about 30 seconds or so into this match so far. But overall,
even so, that was a strong opening 30 seconds. We already got Lootboxers had already taken 2/3 of the capture point required for hybrid to get the payload underway. So everyone's is here full force tonight. And that's awesome. Frame rate issues always are going to be, oh, I think we're good, actually. I think we can continue.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. All right. So we're not even, Arrow isn't even going to have to restart. We're not losing any ultimate. We're going to still stay at this 52%. So Arrow's going to be good. So as I was saying, we're already at 2/3% of the way there of the capture point to get the payload move. I forget what it's called. Anyway, but seen some great holds, but I'm loving seeing this amazing push from Lootboxers. All right, we had a quick moment to reset, and here they come again.
And I love seeing that combination. Lootboxers are able
I love that
to TP their high ground.
Teleport.
Also getting the first pick there. Also getting another pick. Onsala getting another pick here. And it looks like it may just be Sandbox. Sandbox does go down. Lootboxers are going to be able to capture the objective. They had a minute 50 remaining, now over 4 minutes here. They are going to start pushing the payload.
I'm gonna guess it's on. I'm gonna guess this payload going to be moving and grooving this whole time. I don't think there's gonna be nobody's gonna be holding back for this. Though we do have some ultimates for kaiju. We got Mercy. We got a nano boost at the ready. We've got Bob at the ready. Oh goodness.
What about a nano Bob,
nano
Yvonne?
boosted Bob right now.
And it looks like Lootboxers are going to go ahead and push up. They are going to have shield here as they're pushing. You see Oso now running by, using cage fight here. Does get slept. Bob also going in there. A lot of ults being dropped as well. Oso is going to be able to get Sandbox down. Arrow taking down the Bob thrown out there. And Hyuka hoping to just walk past. They do get a pick, but Squid able to get some picks as well. Saturn going down, and Lootboxers are going to be able to get to that checkpoint, expending maybe about a minute or so. And that timer, they now have a little under 4.5 minutes to just capture this last objective. Kaiju Corps definitely going to have to hold some ground here in order to eat away some of that clock that the Lootboxers have.
As I was saying, Zorn, we're gonna have this payload moving and grooving tonight. It's not gonna stop for anything. They're gonna keep it rolling.
I like seeing these TPs that Squid has been putting down, allowing the Lootboxers to walk around here.
I mean, very rarely do you get to see a lot of Symmetra play. I mean, Symmetra, oftentimes you just kind of use Sim to just, teleport closer to your objective and then quick swap out to a character that you quote-unquote actually want to play. But I love using Sim for these kind of purposes, to just warp around. I haven't even seen that much turret play. I've just been seeing these great, wonderful plays with these teleporters. And goodness gravy, we're almost at final checkpoint. We're only about like a little bit over 3 meters away. Goodness gravy, that was the first round already.
Wow, an impressive push coming from Lootboxers. That was very, very quick. Kaiju is going to have to definitely step it up a little bit. Another instance where they're maybe not necessarily in a position where they may be on their back a little bit, but nothing to say. We've said this every week, I feel like. Kaiju Corps, they may stumble a little bit, but throughout the entirety of the regular season, they've continued to prove why they are the #1 seed, why they are undefeated. And now that they had the opportunity to attack here on Umbani, I'm excited to see what the Lootboxers are going to be able to throw at them to hopefully hold them from capturing the payload here.
Kaiju Corps has this really interesting way of, I don't know any other way to metaphorically say this other than, even though they experience a lot of turbulence, they always seem to find the wind under their wings and just soar, and they just make it work. And I love watching that. Time and time again, just proven that this is, as you were saying, this is the team. You just got Kaiju just needs to find the rhythm that they want, and they just go with it.
For sure.
But again, not taking anything away from Lootboxers. That was a quick as a wink round, and again, solid pushes, solid defensive movements. I loved everything that I saw with Symmetra. That was amazing. And I can't wait to see what they do on defense now. We have Hog now, we got Junkrat, we got Ash, Mercy and Kiriko for Lootboxers, and on the other team we're still seeing the Zarya and Genji, Soldier 76, Lucio, and Kiri. I can't wait to see how it's gonna be as the tables have turned.
Looks like another pick. So far, it is in favor of Kaiju Corps in this fight, and Oso's going to go down as well. That is going to effectively be a team kill, although we don't get the official team kill as Arrow is coming out of spawn there. But very strong push coming from Kaiju Corps. That was a pace that Lootboxers had set from the beginning. They're going to come out swinging, they're going to come out aggressive and fast, and Kaiju Corps is able to adjust and do the same thing while they were on offense.
Yeah, this scares me. We already got payload underway again. We're gonna have just lightning quick, truly aggressive matches all night, and I think that's gonna be the scariest thing as well. Is both these teams are they're not gonna give a corner to either to each other, I should say.
And Squid is gonna be able to take Saturn down here. The good Suzu as Hyuka was pushing in to get Onsala. Oso looking very low. Oso going down. Dom going down. And Hyuka able to pursue and finish off the Elim on Squid. Kaiju Corps able to get some more progress here, heading towards that first checkpoint again with a lot of time on the clock here. Lootboxers are really going to have to push into this. They're going to have to decide, are they going to push to prevent Kaiju Corps from getting this objective, or are they going to let them take it and hold for that corner? And it looks like Lootboxers are going to try and stop that checkpoint. They are going to get there. Rush and Visor both coming out from Kaiju Corps' side. Also able to get Sandbox down. And now B is dropped for Kaiju Corps. Weemi High taking down Onsala here. And we have Squid using Death Blossom here, not quite able to connect with anyone. Hyuka very low, does go down. And Blade is going to be used by Saturn. Able to get Squid, able to get Dom. It's just Oso here fighting on point. Oso does go down. And Kaiju Corps able to get to the checkpoint, now having a little over 5 minutes to push. Arrow and Squid both pushing on Sandbox, able to get that early pick there. And also able to get two at that jump. Using ult there, able to get Hyuka down.
I really like that push out that Lootboxers made into Kaiju. That really got them off payload. That gave some big space, forcing them to regroup, just eating away at that time as much as they can, as well as just allowing the Lootboxers themselves to regroup as they need. And I'm not the best Maga player, but I'm surprised that they're staying in with Maga against Zarya. Not my pick, but I love seeing it work. I love seeing characters being used to their full potential. As Damo pops, oh goodness, we got Visor and we got Beat going.
And a lot of damage output coming from Lootboxers. Dom able to get 3 after having used ult there, and a 4th going down as well. Kaiju Corps now regrouping. This is definitely one of the hardest spots. I mean, right with the defenders spawn being there, it's definitely a hard spot to push through. You see Kaiju Corps hoping to take that high ground from Lootboxers, but Lootboxers are all hanging out there.
I mean, I kind of like their plan that they all got the Lootboxers all up top just to be like, haha, nah, we're gonna go down now.
We've got Kitsune Rush coming.
I love this rush placement.
And you see Oso and Dom really holding up there. Big Grav beat is going to be dropped. Squid does go down. Dom looking very low here. Does go down as well. It is going to be Arrow and Oso. Onsala does go down as well. And maybe a tactical respawn as Oso's waving to Kaiju Core before getting eliminated. Kaiju Core having 2 ults. They're really going to have to make sure that they push this here. And they are going to get Arrow. Round is going to be completed. We are going into extra rounds. Lootboxers having just shy of 3 minutes. Kaiju Core down to 2 minutes. Huge pushes from both teams. Lootboxers showing a little bit more resistance there on that last checkpoint than we saw from Kaiju Core, but still able to push through. Kaiju Core doing some great things there on offense. Again, going into these extra rounds here, I would say the momentum or the pace might have to change, but both teams are coming out so aggressive. It'll be interesting to see what they bring into these extra rounds here.
You know, I'm happy that we get to see some extra rounds because both teams are proving that they're gonna give it their all, and they're really gonna prove. Just so, this is gonna be. I know me and Pipes have been saying this a lot over the past few days, but this I think is gonna be the real nail biter tonight. All right, because I was just speechless for a little bit, and again, these are the top seed teams, so it's obviously this is what we're gonna be seeing tonight. But
Lootboxers had the unfortunate couple losses that they had, so Wyoming's holding down the 2 seed. But in terms of these 2 teams, I would say their abilities. These are some teams definitely competing for the top seed. Kaiju Core now on offense first, though they are going to be pushing that low ground there. You're seeing some switches. Squid is going to be playing Torbjorn as opposed to Reaper or Genji here. Looks like Kaiju is going to go ahead and make that roundabout there on the high ground. And Arrow is going to go down. Oso able to get 2 there with that charge. And Saturn very low, still able to get that pick on Dom. Just over a minute for Kaiju Core to push. It looks like Kaiju is going to go ahead and do the same thing. Force Lootboxers off. And Arrow does go down. They have Oso here in this room. Essentially a 4v1. Oso able to charge out of there. Nothing stopping Oso's charge. Sandbox able to get Squid down. That's going to be a huge pick. Hollow now pursuing Onsala here. Hollow is going to go down. Great pick from Dom here. Now Lootboxers are going to have to make a decision. Are they going to keep trying to get picks here on the high ground, or are they going to push into Kaiju Core to prevent any further progress here? Arrow looking very low. Kaiju Core able to get the objective, but there is no extra time now that we're in extra rounds. Overtime is going to hit. And it looks like we've got Blade and we've got Rush on the Kaiju Core side. No ults just yet, but we're coming up on Visor and Molten Core on Lootboxer side here.
And maybe even a Coalescence to boot.
Also true, yes.
Which, 3 very powerful ults. You gotta respect Visor, no matter... Oh, we have a Molten Core. I think this might just be it. Yep.
And a tactical Visor being used. Huge grab from Hyuga, able to get 3. Squid looking very low. Saturn is going to go ahead and use Blade. But they C9!
No!
Oh no!
Oh goodness!
They won the team fight but lost the battle. That is big.
Alright, well, they did push payload decently far. I would say 1/3 way to checkpoint. Still, the biggest hurdle that must be jumped is capturing this payload. We have a lot of good high ground, a lot of good defensive positions.
Letter number indeed. Letter number indeed. Wow. You know, Kaiju Corps, a absolute great team, but this just goes to show that sometimes mistakes can happen even to some of the really good teams.
Mistakes are okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's completely okay. They still have a huge opportunity to make a great defensive stand. And sometimes it happens, you know.
Definitely great round for sure. Just unfortunate to see. And now they have the opportunity to defend here. It'll be good to see if they can match the strength that they were displaying on offense here on defense, or if Lootboxers are going to be able to come away with this first map here. It looks like Lootboxers are going to be wrapping around, taking that low ground, and they are going to go ahead and move to high ground, wrapping around, hoping to get her a little bit of a reversal here. Oso is going to be charging into that high ground that Kaiju Corps is hoping to hold. And a good pick there from Sandbox. Another one. Squid looking very low. Saturn and Squid both going down. Oso and Arrow fighting alone on point here. Oso hoping to get any picks that they can. Oso does go down as well. And Kaiju Corps regrouping here, bunkering down. Oh no. Dom having to use TP early. Dom ended up accidentally going off the side of the map, started sliding down a little bit. And Oso is chasing down Weemi High.
It's still here.
He is still here. He just had to use TP there on that fight.
Oh, okay.
And Sandbox able to get a pick there on Dom. Oso also looking very low, getting pushed here by Squid and Arrow. And Sandbox does go down. And it's just Arrow here. Arrow is going to manage to get out unless Saturn can do something. Otherwise, Arrow does manage to get out. Just under 45 seconds here for Lootboxers to capture the objective. And Blade is going to be used by Squid here. But that beat is really going to hinder the effectiveness of that Blade. Onslaught also using Coalescence here to make sure Lootboxers stay alive for this fight. It's just Bob and Dragon Blade on Kaiju Corps. And they do have Grav. They do have Nano. Bob is going to be able to get some very good damage. Bob does go down. Grav is going to be used. But so is Beat. And now another Blade coming out. Saturn getting Blade. And Kaiju Corps able to hold the objective. Absolutely phenomenal hold coming from Kaiju Corps. That was an absolutely phenomenal grab right there. I don't know if you had noticed there, chat, but we had Onsala using Coalescence, and Dom had used Visor as well. That Grav was effectively able to shut down 2 ults. Huge play there. Ultimately didn't need it after the incredible hold that they had, but unfortunately C9 occurred after that. Don't want to bring up bad memories there, but definitely a huge team fight won there for Kaiju Corps, and then ultimately able to have an impressive hold against Lootboxers, coming away with that first map.
You say you don't want to bring up bad memories, but in like a weird twist of fate, the C9 wasn't that terrible because in the end they didn't need any more space than that. So, I guess
That's true.
I guess everything works in mysterious ways, but yeah.
I mean, like you said, maybe it's not a bad memory. Maybe it would have been had Kaiju Corps not been able to hang on to that map. But again, with that great
Yeah, but
defense
that's not what
they
that
had.
that maybe that's a parallel universe, Soren. We don't know what that would have been like.
Oh, the MCU is what we're rocking right now.
Oh yes,
The
we made the
multiverse.
Thanos joke last night.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Alrighty. We are going to go ahead and start get things set up here. We are going to be looking at a Flashpoint map, Yvonne's favorite game mode, but we are going to be heading to Saravasa, so not New Junk City, unfortunately, Yvonne, but we are going to be looking at Saravasa. Still going to see some really great plays. I'm expecting some really great plays coming from both teams here. And in that Flashpoint game mode, very aggressive, very nitty-gritty, brawly, and I think it's a very similar play style and to push in certain aspects in terms maybe of team comps, but I'm really interested to see here who comes away with it, because that last map was neck and neck, and I'm excited to see more of that for the entirety of this night.
You know, Flashpoint is kind of the perfect way to see, like, as I have said many a times with being here on talking about Flashpoint, you never get a pause, and I don't think that either team is going to give the other team a moment of rest for this entire Flashpoint map. In fact, I think Flashpoint tonight and probably Push tonight are going to be some of the most mayhem. Now, I say that, and we opened with a lot of good mayhem. We opened with an incredible hybrid map. I can't wait to see how this turns out. I'm as you said, a lot of nitty gritty. I'm expecting this to get a little rough. That one's gonna go down without a fight. Literally, obviously, we're playing Overwatch, but this is gonna be a lot.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that Hayuka doing some excellent things there on Zarya. Loved seeing that. Oso definitely sticking with those picks of Magoo and Roadhog. Playing into that Zarya might prove to be a little bit difficult, but that's not to take away from Oso's potential, Oso's ability. Definitely doing some great things. And I got to say, there were multiple occasions where Oso would charge in and get 2 picks just from charging in and slamming. So I'm excited to see more of that. I just gotta give credit to where credit's due. Ultimately, I can't take anything away from either team in that first map, and I'm excited to see, as we're heading into Saravasa here, what both teams are going to bring to the table.
So with these two teams, which are revved up as crazily as they are, which I think we're experiencing a little bit of lag. Is there any specific character, anybody in specific you're very excited to see?
Yeah, I enjoy seeing Junker Queen on Flashpoint, but in particularly, I think a good team comp that, I mean, just seeing these teams play gets me pretty hyped. So I don't know necessarily that I'm expecting any certain hero on this map per se. And as we were kicking things off, so you see Oso is sticking with that Magoo, Dom of Ender on Reaper. Squid's going to be playing Hanzo, Onsala, Moira, and Arrow sticking with that Lucio. On the other side of things, Hayuka is going to be playing that Zarya again, Saturn on Genji, Sandbox sticking on Soldier, Hollow playing Lucio, and Weemi High on Baptiste. Definitely going to be some great fights here. And Weemi High is going to go down. Hyuka looking very low as well. Saturn able to get a pick on Squid. And there's that charge Elam again. And a great push coming from Lootboxers. Looks like maybe Hanzo the Manzo was a little bit of an unexpected pick from Squid, according to chat here. So it'll be interesting to see how that looks. And Squid is going to get that pick. Squid's ears must have been burning getting that pick there on Sandbox. And Saturn able to get another pick there on Squid. Dom answering back, getting Saturn down. Hayuka going down as well. It is just the supports here. Kaiju Core regrouping here. Without the assistance of the speed boost, though, maybe taking a little bit longer than what they wanted. Squid getting a very early pick there on Saturn for this team fight. Hollow going down as well. Squid getting another Arrow chasing down Sandbox here. And that is going to be the first point. That was a very quick 100-0 point for Lootboxers. And Saturn able to finish off Onsala here. Lootboxers going to be heading into this fight 4v5. And Dom pushing in on their Lonesome here, going down as well. Maybe a little bit of a regroup coming from Lootboxers, wanting to take this team fight together. And Squid holding on to Dragons here. Oso is going to go in. Wonder, yep, we see that cage fight. There's going to be a Dragon as well. Sandbox is using Visor as well. And Dom getting 1, 2, 3, 4 picks there with that Death Blossom. Great Death Blossom from Dom, able to flip that point. Utilizing the grouping there that Kaiju Core had. Waiting out the beat dropped by Kaiju Core. Definitely a great use of ult there coming from Dom. Able to turn that fight there for Lootboxers and give them the objective. And an early pick, Onsala able to get Sandbox down with that skill orb. Saturn looking very low as well. And Hollow going down also. And Weemi High with a tactical respawn here. And Squid able to get another pick here on Saturn. Grav being used. Able to get Hayuka while in Grav. Weemi High looking very low. Squid is going to be 1v1 in here. And Lootboxers are going to come away with the second objective. So far looking like Lootboxers are kind of running away with this map. But as I think we saw earlier, Jolly had made the observation having played against, or having Wyoming played against Kaiju Corps here, just acknowledging the fact that Kaiju Corps gets stronger as the match progresses. I'm excited to see if they are able to pull that out here and really show that dominance, or if Lootboxers are going to... I was just watching that dragon. I got caught up in the moment here. Looks like we do have a Blade. Blade is going to come out, able to get Squid. And a lot of picks. Onsala able to get Hayuka down there with Coalescence. Oso taking down Hollow, and Saturn going down as well to Onsala's Coalescence. Another great use of ult there. Lootboxers are going to get the third objective and possibly final. Looks like they're going to be coming up there on Cage Fight and another Death Blossom as well as Beat. It'll be good to see those ults being used here.
You know, I hate to say it, but I think I think Lootboxers may or may not be just a tad bit spiteful of not quite getting the last map to exactly as they needed it to be. So I feel like this is going to be the bit of the revengeance.
And a lot of ults coming out. Also able to get Hayuka, Onsala getting Weemi high, Hollow going down to Dom. And a lot of ults being used. Those 3 ults that I had mentioned before the team fight happened, all 3 of them came out in that fight. It is going to be leaving Kaiju Corps in an interesting position. They're really going to have to push 88% in climbing here for Lootboxers. Oso just diving in, not letting them get away. Saturn does go down. Dom looking very low. They are trying to capture the objective, and they do get the objective. Hayuka able to get Dom with the help of Hollow there. And some huge plays coming from the support of Lootboxers here.
You know, for as quick as they took this point, I love to see Oso and Anakilla. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I am not. Just immediately
Onsala.
moving. Onsala. I'm so sorry about that pronunciation.
No, honestly, I think I'm still butchering it, but...
I just loved seeing the immediate of... Okay, they took the point. The immediate flank from behind to close out any situation, and it's just that's it. Okay then.
And there was that Death Blossom we saw there on the second objective as the Lootboxers come away from the Flashpoint map 3-0. Definitely a great way to fight back after having lost that first map. Great things coming from Lootboxers, able to adjust and really play the game how they want to, play the map how they want to. And I think having Oso on the Magoo, Arrow on Lucio, and Squid playing that Genji, or I guess Squid playing Hanzo, did some really good stuff there. Ultimately able to come away with that, and it looked very impressive. Kaiju Corps really looking like they were having to adapt to how the Lootboxers were playing rather than the other way around. So we'll see. We are going to be doing Control, so very similar setup, maybe less movement and more bunkering down here. We'll have to see how Kaiju Corps adapts to that.
You know, back to back, we're having incredibly fast games, incredibly, I'm gonna say the word violent because that's not the word, but they're always very intense. As we've been saying all night, both teams are just, they're not standing aside to each other. So we're having it pretty even. We're 1-1. I can't wait to see where we're going next. This is anybody's game. This is gonna be 5 rounds of, I'm not sure, it's anybody's game tonight, and
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sorry I wasn't talking very much. I'm having slight technical difficulties. My sincerest apologies.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, and it looks like we are going to have an interview opportunity with Oso, the tank player for Lootboxes. Wow, Lootboxers. They're not boxes.
You don't know that.
How are we
Also-
doing, brothers? What's going on?
What is happening? I gotta be honest. When you said that, I had a sketch flashback of the "What's up, brother," and I actually hated that. But
I'm sorry.
No, no, you're good. How you doing, Oso?
I feel fantastic.
Definitely a very impressive display on that second map there at Flashpoint. What's going through your head? What's going through Lootboxer's head?
So the main thing that was just going through our head is Zarya cannot live. Because if Zarya lives with all that charge, I can't live. And I don't like dying. A big thing also was just us being able to go in there. Numbani's not really our map. We still played amazingly, but it'd be like that. Kaiju Corp, amazing team. Actually amazing. I'm having a great time playing this team. This is just lit. This is just lit. And just what's going through our head is just win, fight, win again. It's all that's really been going on since the preseason, honestly.
For sure, for sure. And I gotta say, definitely, although Numbani may not have been your map, even with the unfortunate C9 and that tough loss, definitely an impressive display from all of you. And I gotta say, that hold there right before that last checkpoint looked really good.
Thank you.
I like what you guys are doing there. And I gotta say, I made the observation at some point, maybe before the start of the second map. Have you been keeping track of how many double elims you've gotten just by charging in? Because I swear it's like 3 at this point.
I just pressed the button and people died, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I like it. You guys definitely have a very aggressive play style, and with Aeroplane Lucio, you have that speed and that ability to get places fast. Would you say we should be expecting more of that aggressiveness coming from you guys as we continue playing in this match?
Oh, 100%. We've been doing this ever since like preseason, bro. Like back when we was J Dynasty, you know, our RP go to team, but we're here with the Lootboxers now. And honestly, since you brought up Arrow, I want to give a shout out to him. We would not be able to do anything we do without Arrow because he loves Lucio and he loves speeding and he loves feeding. So if it was not for Arrow, if you want to thank the person that has given you amazing entertainment and just fun games, give it to Arrow. That man has blessed life. And shout out to Wurzo. He just got in and he's been keeping me alive. He's been doing a great things. I love this kid. And yo, Bubbles is doing great. Everybody just we're doing a great job, and I'm proud of us as a team, just of how far we've come. And it's like it's great.
Absolutely. And I got to say, Kaiju Corps may be one of the toughest teams that you face in this regular season, and so far you guys are competing phenomenally. So as we're going into Control, so we've got Antarctic Peninsula here going into Control. Are there any specific strategies that you may be switching up? I know you play a lot of Hog and Magoo. Is there any possibility that that's going to change? Or are you thinking that's going to stay the same, or are you wanting to stay silent as that's classified information?
You know what? I like that third answer. That third answer sounds official.
All
I don't want
right.
to get banned, so
All
go with
right.
that one. I like that
All
one.
right. I don't want to get banned. All right. Well, I love it. Well, also, I got to say, impressive stuff coming from you and the rest of the Lootboxers.
Thank you so
Good
much.
luck in the
Appreciate
rest
it.
of your maps. And I'm excited to see what you guys have up your sleeve.
Fantastic, thank you. I'd hug you if I could, but we on Discord. Appreciate you. Also,
Appreciate
I'm sorry. I don't know, like a co-host. I don't know. Fantastic to meet you. You're wonderful. Thank you so much for giving your time for us. Honestly, this is great. This is
Honor to
great.
meet you. So.
Nice to meet you. What is it? I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you Yvonne. I'm gonna call you Yvonne.
Everybody does.
Yeah. All right. Word.
One day I'll tell everybody how to actually pronounce it. Everybody just call me Yvonne. It's fine.
One of these days. But I gotta go hold W. Peace.
Yeah, let's
Appreciate
go.
you.
Appreciate it. All righty, everyone.
Lovely. I
That-
like him.
That was also the tank player from Lootboxers. Definitely a fun interview to have, and I love the aggressive mentality that the Lootboxers have. I'm excited to see that in these future matches. Future matches, I guess, but these future maps here against Kaiju Corp even. I gotta say, though, personally, Antarctic, I can't even say
I know, you don't like this
Antarctic
map, I
Peninsula
know.
is a huge L for me. But it is what it is, and I'm excited to see what these teams bring to the table here. So the scores are tied. Kaiju Corp having won, Lootboxers having won. A phenomenal hold and play on the first map coming from Kaiju Corp, but Lootboxers able to run away with the Flashpoint map 3-0. It'll be interesting to see what these teams are going to do here and what adjustments maybe Kaiju Corp are going to make. They are subbing out. Hayuka is coming out, and Felix, the captain for Kaiju Corp, is going to be subbing in. I'm excited to see that and what chemistry, what synergy adjustments that brings to Kaiju Corp here.
Alright, here we go, Zorn. It's gonna be okay. It's you know what? I don't think we're gonna be here that long because of how fast these rounds have been going. So, it's not your favorite map, but it'll be over pretty quick for you, Zorn, at least.
It'll be good. It'll be good. I'm excited. You see Felix is going to be matching the Magoo coming from Lootboxers. Saturn and Squid both playing Symmetra. Sandbox is going to be on Sombra. And Dom playing that Reaper that we've seen quite a bit of. We've got the Mirror Lucio and a Kiri on the one side and Moira on the other. Looks like we are swapping, though. Both teams playing with a Reaper now. And Felix is going to go down, Arrow down, Squid down as well. Saturn just wreaking havoc there on the side of the fight. And Dom going down as well, getting a good hack there on Oso. Temporarily preventing the retreat. Oso going down as well. And Kaiju Corp are coming away with this first fight. Felix went down pretty early, but Saturn really cleaning up on the side there.
Yeah, that could have been anybody's even moment.
And Lootboxers quickly regrouping here. And Felix going down again. And Dom getting a pick here. Sandbox looking very low, not able to get out before invisibility is popped. Hollow fighting as best as they can here on objective. Just trying to get as many ticks as possible. And Hollow does go down here.
I love watching Oso hold true to what's happening. They flip the point immediately, so I see Maga just charging off.
Oso's pressing W. Oso's pressing W.
He's pressing W, he's going.
And Rush is going to be used here. Dom using all here, able to get Sandbox down, but Oso going down. Dom looking very low, trying to fade out here. is going to get healed up, and Lootboxers are going to drop back and regroup. Both teams right around 40%. Kaiju Corp has the lead, though. And Dom using Fade here. Ult being used here. Saturn able to get one. Squid very low. Felix finishing off Oso here. That Coalescence was big, but not enough. And Onslow with the tactical respawn here.
Okay, so for a hot second I didn't realize that's what happened. I just seen Moira falling on the I'm like, no! Oh, wait a minute.
We've adapted the term tactical respawn, as it's better to not get staggered from the rest of your team there than to die really late there in the fight. Felix is going to use ult, if nothing, hoping to keep Lootboxers from being able to touch here. Also having cage fight. Hack is being used, preventing the initial cage fight, but it does come back. Squid able to get 3 picks, Dom getting 1 there. And with overtime popped, yeah, Kaiju Corp at 99%. Lootboxers able to take the objective back here and are climbing.
Still anybody's map? Or match? Round? Whatever. Still anybody's round though. I'll never get it right. And I'm okay with that. I'm a commit.
And Felix going down very fast again here.
And with how close Kaiju is to taking the point, you gotta be really careful about where you stand so that you don't accidentally C9 again.
Sure.
Sorry, I mistyped. I don't mean to do anything right there.
And a huge ult from Saturn getting 2. Beat being dropped, hopefully to secure this point. Overtime is on again. And Coalescence being used here by Weemi High. Also very low. Cage fight being used now. Domavender able to get a pick of their own here with Death Blossom getting 2. Squid getting another. And a Sandbox fighting. But Sandbox does go down. Lootboxers coming away with the first round here on Antarctic Peninsula. I had to enunciate very well, otherwise I was going to just like mumble through it again. Looks like we are going to pause for a second.
Okay, I'm gonna take this as a technical difficulties moment. I have to relog Overwatch because it is really mad at me for some reason, and I don't know what it's not letting me use my mouse to turn the camera. So I'm gonna technically relog the game for a hot second.
Alrighty, well, it looks like we are going to have not a map reset, but just a reset here as we're preparing for this next round here on Control Antarctic Peninsula. I gotta say, Kaiju Corp being at 99% there and Lootboxers being able to come back and take that first round, very impressive push coming from Lootboxers. And I gotta say, overall a team play. Can't necessarily give credit to any one specific player, but definitely some really good stuff coming from both teams. Very close first round, and things are only heating up here as we're getting ready to go into round 2 here on this control map. We are waiting here, so Felix, man, I'm going to have a here counter. I need someone to count how many times I say here. But
how many times do I say every time I get in? I spectate. I just...
Oh, and it looks like Felix came back, but only for a moment. DCing again. That is going to be unfortunate. May end up having to swap Hyuka back into this map. I almost said here again, but I stopped myself. I like the energy there, Squid. I gotta say, as we're waiting for the teams to regroup here, as we're starting the second round, show some love for the team. For you're here to support. I gotta hear it. Put that kaiju core in there. If you're here for kaiju core, put that Lootboxers in there. Cheer on your favorite player. Do something. I want to see that chat go wild right now.
We want to see a Germa Twitch chat. Everybody keeps. It's a terrible joke. Okay, I think my game is good. As well.
Alrighty.
Hopefully. I'm so sorry about that.
That is fine. Now is a better time than ever. There's the love for the Lootboxers. Alrighty, it looks like both teams are ready. I'm a little sad after having to hit that pause button. We don't get any music here to get us hyped for this next round.
I mean, once the bullets start flying, I feel like we'll be hype enough.
That's true. That's true.
3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Okay, so kaiju suddenly got really scary. We have Reaper, Echo. Saturn and Sandbox have been proven to be pretty incredible DPS this evening. So I can't wait to see. You know, I really like the idea of the Echo pick on this round.
Oso very low. Oso does go down here. Saturn making a huge swap. And Dom with no fade. Squid and Dom able to get Felix down, but Dom does go down. And Kaiju Core the first with the objective here. Sandbox going down. And also able to get Hollow down. Dom taking down Sandbox, but Saturn able to get the pick there on Squid. Also taking down Felix there. And it looks like we have another pause request here. And another DC coming from Felix. It's a little unfortunate, I'd have to say, having so many DCs. Not something you want to see. Looks like Felix is going to be back. Unfortunately, there's just so much happening, and having that DC continuously, any ult buildup that Felix would have does ultimately go away, unfortunately. But it looks like everyone is back. We're just going to confirm that teams are ready, and looks like we have that confirmation without me even sending a message. So we are going to go ahead and unpause.
Despite the fact that Felix keeps losing ult, Kaiju's doing incredibly well for themselves. So despite being down 1 ult and the pauses, which is a little bit of a pace breaker for everybody, but everybody's still playing hard. Kaiju still has 3 ults up. We still got a Death Blossom. We got a beat. We got this Kitsune rush that's going on right now.
And with the help of that Kitsune, both Sandbox and Dom using Death Blossom, but with the help of that Kitsune firing off a little bit faster, Dom does go down. And it looks like we are now going to see almost mirror comps here, with the exception of Onsala playing Moira and Weemi High playing Kiriko.
So now we have the Mirror Watch event going on right now because the Battle Pass. Now we have the Mirror Watch teams going on right now.
And also going down here, Dom going down as well. And it looks like we have another DC. And unfortunately, I didn't want to interrupt that Echo battle there. But we do have those pause requests. Got kicked to lobby. Alrighty, and we are unpausing again.
I'm not exactly sure that this is the exact reason, but I still blame the fact that it's like literally the middle of hurricane season right now.
Looks like Lootboxers are going to be pushing up from this left side. Lots of damage being traded. Saturn is going to go ahead and use duplication here.
3 Reapers on any field sounds so scary. Ah, there's 4 of them! There's 4 Reapers on the field right now.
And Saturn using that Death Blossom from having copied Dom.
Too many Death Blossoms happening right now. We had the Echo doing one, we had a real Reaper doing one, we had... Also, Sandbox just dropping 3 people. Objective secured. Every map, Zorn, just total nail biter mode. Just the hybrid map, the flashpoint.
Yeah. I gotta say though, definitely I'd say impressive for Kaiju Corps to be able to hold and win that second round there, especially without having the ability to use Felix's ult at all throughout that second round.
Yeah, I'm loving the adaptability because they're down an ult. And the pauses are a bit of a momentum breaker. It kind of messes with your adrenaline. And they still won last map, so just another reason to prove that Kaiju is truly a very capable team with all the setbacks, still winning the round.
And Oso taking a lot of damage, but is able to survive there. Some great boops coming from Arrow to really get Kaiju Core off of the high ground. And now Lootboxers are just going to have some picks here, or attempt to get some picks here, I should say. Oso is going to go down. Having that beam coming from Saturn is huge in terms of that extra amplified damage when low HP. And they are going to be able to trade there. And getting up to about 27% before the objective is flopped. Both teams having won a round. This is the round that counts. It looks like Death Blossom is going to come online there for Sandbox. Duplication being used as well. Sandbox is going to go ahead and use that duplication, but 2 picks coming. And that's going to be 3, 4 picks. It is just Saturn here.
Good shot, Arrow.
Definitely. And the Lootboxers now sitting at 50% and climbing. I really like the decision from Kaiju Core here to swap the points of entry. And beat is going to be dropped from both teams here. Dom coming up on Death Blossom is going to use Death Blossom, able to get 2. Arrow able to get Weemy high here. Dom able to finish off Felix there, getting a 3K on that play. And Kaiju Core is really going to have to push in here.
Yeah, I love that plan from Saturn. Just charge in and get some much needed space into this point.
For sure.
Because they have a really solid chance of taking over this point. We're at 99 to 27. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this round's still very much alive. We're not done quite yet.
Definitely.
And I can't wait to see what Lootboxers fabricate or formulate or whatever you want to say to properly to take this round and take this point back.
Yeah, and you see just one ult coming up on 2 pretty quickly here for the Lootboxer side of things. And you see just about the same, getting somewhat close to 3, maybe even 4 here on Kaiju Core's side. And a big cage fight there from Felix. And Squid able to get Sandbox down here. And it was that team fight that Lootboxers needed. But it looks like Weemy High is, or sorry, Hollow is going to get to the objective. Does go down.
Now here's Weemy High with the ooh, goodness. Ow. That looked like it hurt. That's round 3. Match 3. I'm trying.
And some impressive shots there coming from Squid, able to get some very good picks. Squid was just headhunting there.
Yes.
That's crazy. But we are going to be in a position here. So Kaiju Corps tied last week there against Loggers, now down to Lootboxers. I believe this may be the first time that Kaiju Corps has ever been down a map against an opponent. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Lootboxers doing some great things. So kudos to Lootboxers. Now they are in the position to hand Kaiju Corps their first loss. It'll be very interesting to see what comes of that, and I'm excited to see both teams. Again, Kaiju Corps now fighting against their first loss here. Lootboxers hoping to give them that L, so both teams, not that anything has been held back so far, but both teams going to be given 110 or more % here.
I feel like the intensity has just been steadily rising all night. Is what I've been noticing. Is just like we're coming out the gate, racing full force, but I'm just seeing like second wind, and then we're gonna keep climbing, and I can't wait to see how far we're gonna soar tonight with just how immaculate both teams have been performing. And again, both teams are doing spectacularly, like tonight, and I can't. I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't wait for what's next, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from both teams. I'm loving seeing the adaptability. I love seeing I always talk about the confidence of the teams. Hear what Oso's saying is I'm just holding W and I'm going. Yeah, I see it. I can see you are very confident in that, and good. That's what you want. That's how you want to feel. That's what you want to see. You want to be confident to saying, yeah, we can do this, and we're seeing it.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, having that tank play, maybe not even sometimes, but having a tank that is just up in your face, constantly applying pressure, definitely can prove to be quite the hindrance. And seeing Oso just being able to press W, just be able to apply constant pressure to Kaiju Corps, is really setting the pace for how Lootboxers want to play this, and they're doing an excellent job. And I mean, that's to say why they have the lead is they're continuing to apply pressure. They're continuing to do what they want to do, continuing to play at the pace that they want to play at. So definitely if they keep that up, this could be Kaiju Corps' first loss. But on the other hand, again, Kaiju Corps' in this position. There were some DC issues on that last map, so maybe that had to play into it. But again, I don't want to take anything away from Lootboxers, just playing exceptionally well, and really hoping to dominate this last map. Well, I shouldn't say this last map, but potentially last deciding map. Yeah.
Yeah, we did see on Hybrid. We saw that was a very strong match for Kaiju. So we might see a flip here. It might be a 2-2 game, and it all comes down to the last map, which means the last map of the night tonight is going to be push.
Yes.
By what is it called? Product of elimination.
Yep. Yes.
So
well, I believe process, but same idea.
I'm sorry, Zoran. It's gonna be all night tonight. It's just it's gonna be all night tonight. I warned you I was gonna be tired. Okay.
No. You're good. You're good. As we're getting ready to see the picks that the teams are going to be making here, it'll be good to see. So it looks like Oso's going to be sticking with the Mr. Magoo. Dom playing Reaper. Squid now switching to Widow. Onsala playing Moira and Arrow on that Lucio again. Looks like they're going to switch things up on Kaiju Corps side. Felix now playing Sigma. Saturn on Sojourn. Sandbox mirroring that Widow. Hollow playing Bap, and Weemi High playing Ana. I'm excited to see this Widow mirror.
Well, as we saw with, I know it's a different person, but as we saw with the potential of Widowmaker last night.
That's true.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what we're gonna be doing with two Widowmakers at the same time. Actually,
And
we're running a lot of
Squid
double.
is going to
Ow.
strike first.
Ow! That looked like it hurt. I was gonna say we have 4 doubles actually. We have 2 Magas, 2 Reapers, 2 Widows. Well, Saturn is
There
now
was a swap there.
Saturn is now Sojourn, and we also had the Lucios. Squidstorm's going for it.
And Sandbox is going to answer back with a headshot of their own.
Alright, as I said, this payload, this ball's gonna start rolling. It's not gonna stop.
I like seeing Arrow really just like hang out up here, getting ready to make a play once everyone's ready. And Weemy High is going to be able to get Squid. Big pick. But Felix is also going to go down here.
Yo, I really like that plan for Osos. You gotta get that Widowmaker out of here. Widow's gonna be really powerful. All this high ground, all this, yeah, a good amount of cover. Widow can move pretty quickly with that grapple hook. We gotta get Widow out of here, and I really like that plan. Though I'm liking, as we saw from last time, I'm liking the committing to the Widowmaker strategy that we've been seeing.
And now Kitsune Rush coming out. 2 picks coming there from Lootboxers side. Hollow able to answer back, but Arrow doing the same thing. And I love seeing that aggressive nature of Arrow just really pushing in, given that speed boost, able to get Oso back for this next team fight as Kaiju Corps is regrouping here. And Dom able to get a pick. Arrow diving the back line here, able to get the pick on Saturn. And they are able to get several picks, really pushing Kaiju Corps back here. Now under a minute to get to that first checkpoint here.
This is a big change for what we saw on I mean, not a big change, but this is a very different strategy than we were seeing on our hybrid map for Lootboxers. They are not given Kaiju much time to continue that push, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing here.
And lots of picks coming from Kaiju side, but they've got 10 seconds. They have to get to the objective here with Oso and Onsala there in their back line. Arrow now coming back. And lots of ults. Sandbox using High Noon, not able to connect with anyone, but it does prove to be maybe a little bit of a zoning ult, allowing Kaiju Corps to get to this first objective. If Oso gets back, Oso is going to go ahead and charge in. Does have cage fight here. But Felix is going to cage fight first. Saturn here with Railgun. Arrow looking very low. Arrow does go down. Now cage fight coming from Lootboxers here. And that is going to effectively be a team kill from Lootboxers side, able to hold them from capturing the first checkpoint.
You know, between the 2 tanks with the 2 Mog ults at the tail end of that last round, Uh, I, I didn't really think about using Maga's ult in this way, but you have to wait to use Maga's ult until one. If there's two Magas, you have to wait till one ult ends to start the next one, or else the two cages become shields, and nobody's bullets are really gonna be doing much of anything. Which, in some ways, yes, could be really effective, but just having that little bit of extra patience and that extra faith in your support players opened up a much bigger opportunity, and I think Oso capitalized on it rather quickly, actually.
For sure. And I gotta say, right now, Kaiju Corps is gonna have to hold like they held on Nimbani in those extra rounds if they want to come away with this map and
Well, we know they're
continue to be
capable of it.
undefeated. Oh yeah, definitely the capability is there. I don't think that's necessarily the question. It's just a matter of if they're able to actually do it. I mean, great play so far from Lootboxers, looking much different than now from the first map. And Arrow able to strike first. Squid getting another pick. Dom taking down Saturn. Oso taking down Felix. It is just Wee Me High here.
Okay, Aaron Oso, we're really excited to get going.
And Oso's going to go ahead and charge in. Oso getting that first pick. But Sandbox getting two. Saturn getting Oso down is just Arrow here. And Arrow is going to go down to Sandbox. Sandbox with a huge 3K in that team fight. Holding off Lootboxers from winning the map in about a minute. Great hold there.
This is a little bit. This is, once again, we're getting to that nail biter. The payload is incredibly close, within what, 7 meters of well, not checkpoint, but where it has to be to equal out the maps. If they can get that payload, they're gonna have a little bit extra time on their hands.
And Oso tank going down there for Kaiju Corps. Damavender holding on to Death Blossom, is going to use Death Blossom, does get Wee Me High down. It is just going to be Hollow going down. And Lootboxers come away with map 4, handing Kaiju Corps their first loss. And that is officially Kaiju Corps' first loss of the season. Definitely a heartbreaker for Kaiju Corps, but super hype for Lootboxers, playing phenomenally so far in this match and hoping to continue to do so in this 5th and final map. But I gotta say, it's gotta be absolutely thrilling to be the team that beats the undefeated team that was Kaiju Corps. I mean, they've got to feel ecstatic right now.
I'm sure they are completely partying their little heads off in their Discord server or game chat or whatever they're using to communicate right now. It must be. It was so amazing that who just disconnected? Dom's power just went out, apparently. It was that incredible that his entire household could not withstand the awesomeness, Jack Black style, Tenacious D style, and it caused a power outage at Domo's house, apparently.
This weather's kind of wild.
As I said, it is literally it's like literally hurricane season. I do feel bad for everybody who's going through these power outages issues. I know that some people this is kind of normal, but I do still feel bad for everyone that has power issues. That's not fun, nor is that very fair.
All right, looks like we're going to be pulling Felix in for an interview. This is the captain and tank player for Kaiju Corps. Hey, Felix, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well. Gotta say, a little bit of a heartbreaker. Things that happened tonight with the DCing and the first official loss. How are you guys feeling?
We're doing all right. I mean, just trying to finish out strong, get the highest seed we can.
Sure.
Prep for playoffs. Got a lot of things on our mind besides Odyssey, gonna be real with you, but obviously we're still giving it 110.
For sure. Well, I gotta say we appreciate it, and the competition level tonight has been extremely high. Coming into this matchup, were there any things that you were looking for, and particularly knowing that the Lootboxers were going to try and roll with, and anything necessarily to try and counter that?
Yeah. Seeing Oso, and I knew that he does not play anything besides Malga and like Roadhog. And despite knowing that, just to be frank with you, I'm the main tank player of this team, but Hyuka is my sub who comes in a lot depending on how busy I am or if things are, I have things going on. So I've been trying to get them to get more scrim and tournament experience. So I knew that they were not able to play the Malga, but I thought it was still doable just because their hero pool is wide enough that we could still make it work. And it obviously still worked on Numbani. It was just obviously an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But then I saw a second map and I was like, oh, okay, this is like, the problem with Malga is that he tends to be relatively neutral to every other tank or good against them. So you kind of get your arm twisted into a mirror and you have no choice but to mirror. So as the only Malga player on our team, I decided to step in. And, if I truly, I apologized to my team after that unfortunate Antarctic, but I was just like, sorry guys, if I didn't DC, I think we would have won, and I do believe that, but it is what it is. So
Sure. And I think that's absolutely wild. Again, I have absolutely no idea. I know in chat you were saying that in all of your scrims you never DC, but it seems to be in the Odyssey League matches it just happens.
Specifically, I don't know why. The first one definitely was due to weather. The previous one, I only fortunately DC'd once, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play it by ear. I'll go on my hotspot if I really have to, because Hyuka's not here today. But I don't know what it is, because that last DC, I got kicked out of lobby, but my teammates could still hear me, so I was really confused.
Yeah, that I gotta say that is absolutely wild, and I definitely would agree. I can't necessarily say one way or the other how that map would have been, but I gotta say those DCs definitely hindered the ult economy, and I think that could have been definitely very useful in that map as close as it was. So definitely some great play, and I gotta say, although making that swap, especially in that first map there at Numbani, Hyuka played very well. They did great things, and I gotta say, nothing really to hang their head low on there. But great play overall. Definitely a heartbreaker tonight. Going forward, it may be a little bit of a momentum shift, but going forward for the rest of this, I know you said just trying to get the highest seed possible. Takeaways from tonight's match. I know it's not over yet, but takeaways from tonight's match going into your next match. What are some things that you think as a team you can take away from this?
I think that there is a little bit of scatteredness going on tonight, and part of it is I think that a few people are running late for warm-ups today, and I think that just we haven't really scrimmed against very many Malga players because Malga comps have kind of gone out of vogue since the beginning of season 9. So I have scrimmed it a bit, but it's been several weeks since I've done so, and my players are confident on the heroes we've been playing, but it's been a hot minute. We had to shift our strategy a little bit in the middle of Antarctic because I was noticing some patterns. So I do think that we have a reasonable idea of how to approach this. It's just obviously I wanted to play Sigma there on Circuit Royale, but I also had a feeling that they were going to play Malga and it would be very difficult because they would just beat onto us. So
Sure.
like I said, when it's kind of like you want to say like a Malga pack. Like if someone plays Malga, you have no choice but to mirror because it's just really difficult otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. Well, again, I would say definitely a heartbreaker for tonight, but nothing to hang your heads overall as a team. Nothing to hang your heads low about. Very impressive play throughout the entirety of the regular season. I'm excited to see that carry over in your upcoming matches and in the postseason. So great play so far. Good luck in this next map and in the rest of your matches.
Thank you.
Felix is driving a good point. Oso has not really swapped off, except for briefly went to Roadhog. Has not swapped off Malga at all. Again, we briefly saw Roadhog, Malga, all the rest of this evening. It is apparent that it's like a Reinhardt thing. It feels like it's the same energy where it's like you see a Rein, you almost play Rein just to counter it. Malga is a lot like that. It's a different energy, but it's like the same kind of system.
Sure.
Oso is actually setting that pace and is actually taking a lot of control. Talk about grabbing the bull by the horns. Oso is setting the pace for the opposing team by refusing to swap. And that's actually incredible that you actually have control over darn near the entire map because you're like, I'm not getting off of Malga, you have to deal because I'm not swapping. That's on paper, but just in its entirety, that's incredible that you are literally setting the tone for the match.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I think that's one thing that Lootboxers do well. And Squid actually said in chat, we practice one thing and we do it good. I mean, the ability to really pinpoint one team comp that is favorable for your team and play it to its maximum potential is phenomenal to see. I think the points where you are forcing Lootboxers to play something else is a good spot to be, but not many teams have that potential. Not many teams have that capacity. And it's really good to see that play in this level of competition between these two teams.
So, the arguable question would be is, and I'm not saying you have to answer this, but this is the question that would be asked is, what could you play? What composition? What counter could you play to force even Oso, who is very confident in his ability of playing Malga, to get off of Malga? What would have to, again, not saying you have to answer this, Sword, but that is in essence the question to force this team to turn around, because we're still seeing a pretty, minus the DPS changing a little bit, we're seeing the same supports, we're not getting off Malga, and the DPS has been pretty consistent on 5 maybe heroes, because again we've been seeing Torbjorn a little bit.
Sure. Now, I will say, to answer a question here we saw in chat, so as we've done throughout the regular season, so Lootboxers have officially won the match, but as we're closing on preseason, any maps that Kaiju Corp can win help for seeding in terms of point accumulation and point differential, so that's why we're playing this 5th map here.
We give you all the entertainment. We give you all 5 maps. We don't care. We're having a good time. And Lootboxers, that's again full force. They're pushing. I know Saturn brought Oso down, but again, Oso said, I'm gonna hold W when I'm going in, and still holding true to that.
Definitely.
It's gravy that Molten Core was built up really quickly.
And Felix able to get the squish elim there on Arrow. Unfortunate there.
Yeah, the Goomba Stomp tech!
I hate the Goomba Stomp tech.
To be honest, I think I've only gotten like 3 of them ever, and it's like the most satisfying thing on the planet. And oh my goodness, Oso's back on Roadhog.
And with Oso swapping onto Hog, that is going to maybe give Felix some breathing room here. Able to swap off that Malga. And a beat is going to be dropped here for Kaiju Core, now being mirrored.
I was gonna fling Zarya off the map. I really was. I thought.
And Arrow maybe hoping to get a tactical respawn, maybe getting booped there by Hollow, but is the elim given to Felix here? And if you recall from the interview that we had with Oso was talking about when they played against Hayuka there on Numbani, killing Zarya is going to be that almost first priority, because a Zarya with a high beam charge is very problematic.
It's a scary thing indeed. Now, they have Molten Core. I've spoken into existence. Now, they have Molten Core. This is a lot of good opportunity to make a lot of space, get a lot of people out the way, get that robot back to the barricade. Proven time and time again to be a very scary Reaper.
Yeah, and good use of Death Blossom there, able to finish off those picks. And I know that Saturn probably wanted to chase down Dom there, but refusing to in order to maximize push time there on the payload while the team regroups. I think that's just some great discipline being shown there by Saturn. And Saturn able to get Arrow down early in this fight. Nano being used. Hollow is going to be the one that gets the Nano. And Oso standing still. Yeah.
Okay. It is a rare day when we get to see Nano Lucio. And I'm happy we got to see it today.
Yeah. And Oso now having a whole Hog, especially with Felix switching to that Zarya, one has to wonder, is Oso thinking in his head ult and switch, or sticking with that Roadhog?
We've seen it tonight. That also often commits to a character, so I would not be incredibly surprised if sticking with Hog would be the plan. But we've seen the Maga all night, so if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I wouldn't blame Oso whether he stays or swaps. Both options seem rather good, and you know what? I can just kind of tell Oso's having a good time, so whatever would be the most fun.
Sure.
That's probably what Oso's thinking.
And both teams sitting on a couple ults here. I think this team fight is going to be a big one in terms of a deciding factor for the rest. I should say for the momentum of this map.
Bomb for Squid Storm onto Weenie High.
And only Pulse Bomb used, I believe.
I believe so.
Keeping that finger off of Q there.
Alright, we have Kaiju has 4 ults ready, and we're in the final stretch, kind of literally. So, all right, Sandbox pops over the overdrive or overclock. I forget which one it is.
Let's get back to basics.
And a big grab coming from Felix with the assist of Saturn, getting 3 picks there. Also going down is just Squid. Squid going down as well. They are going to get the team kill, and they are going to start pushing the bot. Now they do have to get past the Timmy butt scratch and some with only a little under 3 minutes. Definitely possible, but they're going to have to win some consecutive team fights in order to ensure that this map goes in their favor. Squid may be looking for a pulse target here. And 2 picks. Looks like they are going to be able to punish Dom, who is maybe a little bit out of position here. And Felix going to be walking in. Arrow does go down. Looks like Kaiju is almost gonna get the butt scratch there. Huge bubble from Felix to keep Sandbox alive to ensure that the butt scratch does occur. And another ult coming from Sandbox here. Does get Arrow, but does go down. Also has Whole Hog here. And Squid going down as well, not able to get Pulse Bomb off. Also maybe looking for a Whole Hog here to knock everyone off the map. Does not use it. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Alright. Got one off, just straight off the map. Also just downs Felix with the sheer power that is Whole Hog.
And ult is going to be used to secure Timmy. Huge play from Saturn there, able to get 2 with Death Blossom and 1 before.
Seconds left. We're pretty even, both teams, when it comes to how far the barricade is. This next team fight's what's really gonna decide it right here.
And Dom is going to be able to get Sandbox down here with the help of Visor. Lootboxers are going to start pushing payload. Felix trying to get to the objective, but does not. Lootboxers do come away with map 5 for a 4-1 match against Kaiju Corp.
Saturn once again proves to be a very effective Reaper. Very consistent.
Absolutely. And a well-fought match between Kaiju Corp and Lootboxers. Some really good stuff coming from both teams. And especially in that last map we just saw, I mean, that push map defining how close this match was. And I wouldn't necessarily say shocking to see Lootboxers come away with this 4-1, but definitely I was expecting 3-2 in either team's favor, but Lootboxers just really showing the strength that they have, the strength that they possess as a team, just really good team synergy amongst themselves, and great play coming from the Lootboxers, able to knock down Kaiju Corp from the undefeated spot, the spot that they were in the preseason when they were J Dynasty. So definitely being able to knock Kaiju Corp down a little bit and hopefully get higher seeding here soon. Excited to see that, and I'm excited to see how Kaiju Corp bounces back. They have got, I believe, Respawn Rangers next. That should be another good match. And Lootboxers, I believe, actually end up with a bye next week, as unfortunately we had a team drop out pretty late in this season. Yeah, Lootboxers do not have a match for round 8. So that'll be good for them to kind of ride on that momentum a little bit as they go into the final round. But again, exceptional play from both teams. Given that extra 10% going for that 120 as opposed to the 110 going up against Kaiju Corp. Great play from Lootboxers. I'm excited to see what they do in their next matches here. And Kaiju Corp, again, nothing to hang their heads low about, as they've played phenomenally throughout the regular season. But ultimately just bouncing back and continuing to play how they've been playing. Excited to see those upcoming matchups for Kaiju Corp. But I gotta say, the hype was everything that it lived up to be for me. Great play from both teams, and thank you to both teams for being here. Thank you, chat, for giving that hype, for spamming your teams, for communicating, for putting whatever in chat. We appreciate you being here, and really, really hyping us up. So kudos to both teams, but thank you to you. And then again, huge shout out to Yvonne. Appreciate you being here and streaming tonight between this matchup of Titans, really.
Oh, yes.
But with all that being said, we are going to be wrapping things up. Coming up, so this will be Monday, the 22nd, we will have a matchup between XL2 and Cumberland Valley. Another good matchup to see. That'll be, again, Monday the 22nd at 8 p.m. EST. Make sure to be there for that match. And then after that, we will have a little bit of a break, as unfortunately as things lined up with the team that had left, there's going to be a little bit of buys there. But with all that being said, exciting things coming after the regular season has ended. So after week 9, round 9, after all the teams have completed their regular season games, we have got the All-Star Week, which will include things like the Widow 1v1. There will be a Torb battle, Torb Hammer no E battle. We have got 9 hooks, 1 hole, so that's at the Elios well map. Players will be battling to hook each other into the well, so that should be pretty fun, pretty entertaining. Also, we have a lockout 3v3 elimination tournament, and then, of course, we have got the All-Star game. So go ahead and spam in chat what players you want to see in that All-Star game for me. Just want to get those nominations out there. Ultimately, myself as well as some staff and captains will make up a committee to decide who plays in the All-Star game, but I'd love to hear your opinions. But as we go forward, we are going to end tonight, and we will see you back on Monday the 22nd for XL2 and Cumberland Valley. Until then, you'll have a great rest of your night and a good weekend.
Bye-bye.